is Kiswahili? Who is Kiswahili? Representatives from the various counties, Chama Mashinani. We have met, we were 22. Some of our colleagues could not make it because they are out of the country. One of our members of parliament is unwell, is in hospital. Another was in South Africa. Secretary General is in Brussels. And a few others are not within the country. We have met to deliberate on a number of issues. Key among the issues that we've discussed is the ongoing debate on the BBI. And we are in the process of coming up with various proposals towards that direction. But from the onset, we've agreed on a number of issues. One is that we believe the Constitution has to be reviewed. And the key issues we are strongly concerned about is on devolution. The first is that we still believe that we have to devolve 45% of the revenues of the last financial year audited accounts. But we remove the word as approved by Parliament, because the practice has been that Parliament does not approve the last audited accounts and waits for 5 years. And then they come out to tell Kenyans that they have devolved or they have released 35% of the last audited accounts. But they don't tell us that it is 35% of revenues of 5 years ago. So we've said we should remove the word as approved by Parliament. We just want 45% of the ordinary revenues collected in the previous year. We have also proposed that of that 45%, 15% should be devolved to the wards. That at the ward level be established a ward development committee with a clear structure in which the residents in that area, people representing development projects, meet and do a budget for that year, allocate to specific developmental projects. We've also proposed that infrastructure for primary schools and ECDs and other local projects like environmental issues like soil erosion, water, protection of springs, is a function that can be done at the county, at the ward level, not at the county. That the county will still appropriate the funds, but the funds will have to be utilized at the ward level. We believe we do not require the regional level of government, and that the only structure we now need is that of the ward. And that is the area we are concerned about. We are also of the view that MCAs can participate, can be appointed as CECs. We have got competent members of the county assemblies who can handle dockets, but the public service should be strengthened. The CECs should be a matter that is headed by people elected by the locals, but not people who have no connection with the people. So we are of that view. For example, why we believe that MCAs are competent, for example, he's an MCA, and he has been a university don for the last, how many years?
6 years.
6 years. At Kabianga, he was teaching. We also have MCA Ogari. He's a lawyer, Bwana Ogari. We also have those ones who could not come from Narok and a few other areas, although they were representing. They did not all the MCAs were to come. I've mentioned about the MPs. We believe it's possible to get local leadership driving the local economy. We are also of the view that the 15% that is devolved to the wards The tenders will be done at the ward level. We have no problem with the county governments provided the technical staff to ensure that there is capacity to perform at that level. But we believe that money should be spent within the ward so that there is better money circulation within the country. As of now, money is only circulating within the hands of a few. It's possible for that money to be utilized at the ward level so that the youth, who are the vast majority, can be able to get contracts, and Mamamboga and other Njeris in the village can actually do business, even if it means coming to sell chapati or uji to the ones who are constructing. We believe that should happen at that lower level. We are also of the view that local taxation should be viewed more seriously so that it does not hamper local growth and employment. We have had situations where borders, riders are charged using poll tax, similar to the ones the Tanzanians refused in the early part of the 19th century. That, for instance, you put a rope across the road, and that if you want to pass this road, you must pay 50 bob to the county. And they are paying that 50 bob every day, which will make it 15,000 they are contributing. What percentage of their income is 15,000? Those are the questions we are asking. Or even if it is 5,000, what is the income of that mama? What are her tax returns? We have got to be careful about the way we are doing taxation at the counties. We should not overburden the rural Kenyan. The entire Kenyan taxation policy is vested in the Kenya Revenue Authority, and they collect revenues on behalf of everybody. So counties cannot be pushed excessively to widen the net until it becomes an impediment to working at that level. We are of the view that the national chief executive, the functions be assigned to the president, that the presidential function should remain that of the head of state and symbol of national unity. He should be elected by universal suffrage. It doesn't matter if he was sponsored by any political party, but upon assuming the office of the president, he should become non-partisan. He should no longer continue to espouse the politics of the party that sponsored him. He becomes the head of state. He's in charge of foreign affairs, commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He's in charge of internal security. He should be in charge of internal affairs like immigration, registration of persons, foreign affairs. Of course, I hope I have mentioned foreign affairs. He should be, foreign affairs is his docket. He should appoint ambassadors to the various countries. And also things like environment, which are non-political, should be under the office of the president. He may appoint ministers, up to about 5 of them, to handle those dockets that are under him. We believe the prime minister should be appointed by the president from the largest political party or coalition of parties. Coalition of parties. And we encourage that there be coalition of parties. We do not encourage a move towards single party situation for this country. It is very risky, or even having only 2, because it will become a conspiracy amongst only 2 of them. We want a wider participation of Kenyans through a strengthened multi-party democracy. So we are of the view that that prime minister should appoint 2 deputies, and those 2 deputies should not come from his political party. This will assist in creating inclusivity, that he has gotten another political party which represents different interests, and that becomes the deputy prime minister. 2 deputy prime ministers. He may appoint another 15 or so cabinet ministers to run other departments. One deputy prime minister should run the service ministries. Another one can deal with infrastructure ministries, that line, because there are always two line of ministries, service and infrastructure. That is possible to do. That is water, roads, and the rest, and then also things like education. Those are social services, and others are service ministries, including labor. So those are the ones that you can divide along that direction. That's what we've debated. We want to make those proposals, but we believe a prime minister must run government and must repose in parliament. He must be also an elected member of parliament. And we are suggesting that we open up, whoever is contesting the presidency can also contest for a parliamentary seat. Whoever is running for prime minister is always appointed in parliament after elections. So we are of the view that we should not bar those who are running for president from running for MP positions, because the point here is that we will be killing those who want to succeed to become presidents. We'll run out of options in a few years if we continue maintaining that rule. We are of the view that the leader of opposition must then be in parliament, because he ran for president, but he did not get the presidency. So he will be the leader of opposition in parliament. The situation that obtains now is rather tricky, because you cannot drive a bus from the outside. Like the leader of political parties are driving their political parties from outside the parliament. And that makes them very weak. We are of the view that these people should be allowed to contest parliamentary seats. Now, moving down, we are also of the view that whoever gets elected president should appoint his or her deputy after the elections. Mechoka, madam. Yeah. Yeah, let him. I'm saying that positions of deputy president, deputy governors, we are of the view that those ones should be appointed after the elections. And they should be of either gender. That you cannot appoint, if you are a woman, then you must appoint a man. If you are a man, appoint a woman. After all, we are 50-50, although the women tend to claim a little bit more space. But because we are bigger, we normally occupy bigger space ourselves. Nevertheless, we are saying they should be of either gender. We are also of the view that nominations for the positions that are left by failure to attain the 2/3 gender rule, those ones can be filled through nominations, but from the people who contested party nominations. During party nominations, after the results should be filed with the IEBC, and the IEBC will then keep the record, and the list for nomination will be done after the elections, because at that time people will have won, others will have failed. So they can pick from those ones who are interested in political leadership, so that we avoid the accusation of cronyism in nomination to either county assemblies or parliament. We are of the view that IEBC should simply be appointed 9 members or 7 members by political parties that have representation either in parliament or in county assemblies under the auspices of the CMD, Center for Multi-Party Democracy. Because if you go to parliament, the largest political blocs in parliament will put in their cronies and continue to rig elections forever and risk Kenya going to war. We would rather have all political parties agreeing on those who will become members of IEBC. And we believe it is also possible to declare elections results at the counties. That, for example, it's possible for in Nakuru here, for the person in charge of elections here to announce the results of the presidents here. It will also be possible to announce for the MP, and that should be final. It should not be waiting for someone in Nairobi to do it. Even the press will quickly know who the winner is, because you will quickly tally Nakuru plus Kericho plus Baringo plus Kakamega plus all the others up to Lamu. You will have the results faster yourselves as members of the press, and that will encourage transparency in elections, and we will have no more problems with the elections again. We support the process of BBI, and we support the process of handshake, and we want the handshake to become a culture that upon declaring elections, the returning officers should require that the contestants wasalimiane, that they are not going to incite passions that will lead to chaos and killings in this country. We prefer that after elections, everybody should go to their desks where they are working and continue working without asking whether the routes are safe or not. Why are we talking about the routes being safe? We are civilized Kenyans. We must stop fighting after elections. We must have elections that are free and fair, and that will pass muster, even if we had angels coming to audit what we are doing. We are of that view. I don't know whether I have forgotten that all political parties should be funded as long as they have representation in either parliament or county assemblies or senate. They should be funded. There should be a minimum figure on the political parties fund that will be distributed across political parties, and then you can now start adding the rest on the basis of how many numbers, how many MPs, what the representation, the strength of representation of those political parties. We are also of the view that the Senate should be made the upper house, and that they will do all that which pertains an upper house. And we are also of the view that senators should not be allowed to contest for gubernatorial seats immediately. That if you are a senator, if you want to contest a gubernatorial seat, then you get out of Senate and wait for 5 years so that you do that. We think the current senators are busy sabotaging counties. Right now, they are not even making sure that they have funds in the counties, so that they come around bad-mouthing counties instead of supporting counties, representing counties as per the Constitution, assisting the county interests, supporting devolution to move forward. They are not. They are busy making sure the governors fail so that they become the next batch of governors. So senators should be barred by Constitution from contesting for gubernatorial seats. If you want to be a governor, you can even go for MP and later on come back to become a governor. Just have your priorities right. We are raising the Senate to a very senior house that requires sober people who have no hidden agenda to fight their colleagues. Why we are also saying we want the deputies, both of governors and of president, to be appointed after elections. We don't want situations where the deputy governors start messing up their counties so that the governors can vacate office and then they can assume those offices. That is a backdoor way of getting to those positions. We also don't want a repeat of polarization of the country like we have seen at the moment. If the deputy president and the president disagree, they can easily lead us to the Machar, Salva Kiir situations, and we don't want to head in that direction. We believe a deputy president can be appointed after elections, and let there be peace at the top, and let the country move on development. Have I forgotten? Whoever occupies that office has the legitimacy of a clear election. Whenever an MP loses in an appeal at the courts, they go back to elections, even if it was number 2. He has to go back to seek a mandate, the mandate of the people. We believe these governors should also go back to seek the mandate of the people afresh, not just assuming office. We must avoid witch hunting and sabotage in the counties. We end up having difficult situations. We also said that, I don't know whether I'm repeating myself, about primary schools. Have I mentioned that? Primary school infrastructure should be one of the functions of the counties. Infrastructure alone. Walimu ni national, curriculum ni national, examinations national, quality assurance ni national, lakini kujenga darasa. Building a classroom is a local function. Building a dispensary is a local function. We believe it's possible to identify the functions that can also be handled at the ward level and the functions that can continue being handled at the county level and the functions that will be handled at the national level. If
mumeelezwa kwa kinaganaga kwamba chama cha Mashinani kinasimamia ugatuzi. Wimbo wetu ni ugatuzi, ugatuzi, ugatuzi. Kwa hivyo mwelekeo wetu katika hili jambo ni kwamba tunataka kuanzia chini. Mtaona kwa hayo mapendekezo yetu kwamba tunaanzia chini, hatuanzii juu. Tunaanzia chini sababu mwananchi lazima apate kupata resources zikuje mashinani, apate services pale yako na apate kuchagua yeye mwenyewe vile maisha yake itakuwa. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio muhimu wa chama cha Mashinani, na hiyo ndio tofauti na chama zingine ambazo zinaangalia sehemu mambo mengine. Sisi hiyo ndio muhimu wetu, kwamba tunataka wananchi wapate faida ya devolution ambao ni ugatuzi ambao ulikuja na constitution ya 2010. Na hii ni kitu muhimu kwa Kenya na ni jukumu letu kama viongozi kujenga hiyo ugatuzi ndio iwe ya manufaa kwa wananchi wote wa Kenya. Bwana party leader ameongea kwa kinaganaga mambo mingi ambao tumetoa, na mtapata kamili ile recommendation yetu siku ile tutatoa kwa KICC kwa BBI Task Force. Lakini ya muhimu ni kwamba tunataka maendeleo iwe katika ward, na hapo makamati ya wananchi ndio watasimamia hizo pesa ambazo zitaletwa mashinani. Tumesema kwamba tunataka 45% ikuje kwa county, na kati ya hizo 15 iende kwa ward. Ndio ward wananchi wenyewe wajisimamie mabasari, vitu yote hizo ambazo zinatakiwa hapo. Ndio wanajua kwamba nani anavaa kupatiwa basari, shule gani nataka kutengenezwa, kazi gani yote, barabara gani nataka panuliwa. Na hapo ndio maendeleo inaweza badilisha hii nchi na maisha ya wananchi ibadilike iwe nzuri zaidi. Maneno ya kilimo pia tumeangaza hiyo kwamba maneno ya cooperatives ziongezewe nguvu, serikali idumishe hizo cooperatives. Maneno ya malipo kwa wakulima, maneno ya vijana na kina mama iendeshwe ili wote tuwe sawa Kenya, sababu tupate matunda ya uhuru kama wa Kenya zote pamoja. Nafikiri ingine mnaweza kuwa ni majibu, sababu hiyo structure ya executive imezungumziwa zaidi kwamba tuna propose kwamba iwe mixed presidential and premiership parliamentary system ambao ita reflect the face of Kenya. Maneno ya kupigana Kenya tena isirudi, tuwe tunapendana, tunachagua watu na tunarudi nyumbani kufanya kazi zetu. Usichague mtu uende kupanda juu ya mti ukiogopa vile kutakuwa. Hii iwe kazi ya kawaida, sababu nchi zote ambazo ziko civilized ziko hivyo. Unapiga kura, yule akishinda, yule akishindwa, tumesema watu wasalimiane, waendelee na maisha yao, sababu asiyekubali kushindwa sio mshindani. Na hiyo sio mwisho, na wananchi wajue kwamba kura sio mwisho wa maisha. Maisha yetu ni muhimu kushinda kura. Nafikiri kwa sababu ya muda nitawachia hapo, ndio kama iko maswali labda party leader atajibu.
Kama kuna swali? Yeah? Yes.
Kama chama mmesema kwamba mnataka kuwe na prime minister na kuwe pia na president
na demokrasia. Kama hutaki kubeba mzigo ya representation, we jaribu another system of governance, ile ya military ama ile ya wasiochaguliwa. Utaona ile hasara hujaona siku ingine. Kwa hivyo representation ni kitu ya maana sana, na sisi hatuko wengi, we can even have more. There is no problem. In fact, percentage ya hao watu ya mshahara yao is so minimal. It is not the cause of the shortage of funding in this country. Corruption must be stopped. Wastage of resources must be stopped. And we must democratize and create more accountability so that the economy can grow. Ile malady ambaye ina face Kenya, for example, is that we have turned our country into a huge supermarket. We have forgotten about productivity. Look, we are even importing wheelbarrows, which can be done by our Juakale. And it was being done by Juakale in the 70s and 80s, in the Nyayo sheds, Juakale. We have forgotten all about that. We are busy importing all the way up to eggs. We are even importing fish all the way to Kisumu. You can eat a Chinese fish in Kisumu. That is where the problem is. The problem is not the MCA. The problem is not the MP. The problem is not the Prime Minister. Remember, the Prime Minister is still an MP. He's still there. And the salary difference between an MP and a Prime Minister could be about 50,000. And that 50,000 is not the problem why we're having difficulties in this country. We've got serious questions. For instance, because we don't have a parliamentary system of government, accountability is very poor. The ministers must be able to answer questions on Tuesday and Wednesday in Parliament for the performance or lack of performance by their ministries. The Prime Minister himself, on behalf of the entire government, must answer questions on Thursday. Every Thursday, anaulizwa. We would not have waited until several years down the line, and then we are told Kimwarer was actually a hoax. That actually, even the one here in Nakuru was a disaster. That the managed equipment was actually a fraud. How long did we have to wait for that to be understood? We objected to it as governors. I did that very, very often, but no one was ready to listen. But if there was a parliamentary system of government, the Prime Minister should have been put to task on the floor of the House on a Thursday. The Minister for Health should have been made to explain on a Tuesday 4 years ago. Now you're asking him now, or her now, where have you been for 4 years? This thing is not just right. It is the system of governance that we have put in place that does not live up to accountability. Accountability is continuous. It doesn't wait until the project is complete. You ask them questions every week. As a member of parliament, that is their duty. Kama wamesahau, they need to be reminded that that is their duty. But take all of them to parliament and let us watch on television. And we know which minister is lying. Every day we know who lied yesterday. And when they come home on Saturday, we tell them, Kumbe, you are such a liar. You can hear in our region here, we've heard of MPs telling everybody that the price of eggs must be reflected in the constitution if they are to support BBI. Which constitution on earth has tomatoes, the tomato prices in the constitution? And they have even milk in the constitution and tea in the constitution. So what is a constitution? Is it plausible that they don't understand what a constitution is? They are simply liars. And if they are liars, they believe all Kenyans are gullible. Can disappoint. Simple. He has to be a principal assistant. And your principal assistant should simply be that. Your principal assistant, not your principal competitor. It can't be that way. Then you are not running any government. Yeah.
What is the party's position in relation to how corruption cases are being dragging court in relation to the BBI?
Yeah, in fact, that is the next subject we didn't finish. Yeah. We are going on. You did not hear us talking about the judiciary and that one. We were just addressing. But one thing that we have, and I also have a question on the integrity of some of the meetings, because we don't want to create more friction, more division, but the rallies are good to up the debate. With the entry of national leaders, the debate rises higher, and there is more awareness amongst Kenyans. But the point here is, we in Chama Mashinani, we had preferred to start with the town hall meetings and then end up with the rallies. But first, we want to consult and bring everybody on board and demystify this BBI question, because you see, some people want to make it appear as if BBI is a matter between Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta, which is not true. That BBI is meant to hurt one or two. That is not true. That BBI is also meant to fix the prices of tomatoes is also not true. You know, let us be honest. We are discussing issues of governance. And when some people start saying BBI is meant to create position for people, that is also a lie. We are talking about a structure of governance that will deliver results, that will ensure accountability. We have had an experience of the presidential system of government. There is only one person who have elected to head the executive. Only one, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Even the deputy president is not elected. He was part of the entourage of President Uhuru. All the cabinet secretaries were picked from I don't know where. In fact, a lot of them we've never met. And yet I have tried to travel in this country, but I have never seen them anywhere. Sometimes I see them popping up in TVs. I don't know where you pick them or where you meet them. But the point here is, I'm saying is, these cabinet secretaries are unknown to the people. They don't even attend church services. So they cannot even be questioned. I've had a few questions from Makoka in some of the statements he has made. But most of the time I find you have no problem. Like you can tell the people of the children of Kakamega, clearly there has been a disaster today. Those who are already dead are dead. The rest go to class tomorrow morning. That is not a normal statement from a parent even. It is, that village is grieving, even the children are shocked. The other time he told them, you are fools, so you only indicated 2 schools, so I'm going to give you any other school because of your foolishness. Is that the statements we make as leaders? I want them to be more careful.
Guiding and counseling.
I want them to be very careful when they are dealing with our grandchildren. They should talk to them better, and all the others. Even some of the issues like transferring head teachers who are 55 years old. The parent who is a teacher, one is in Kajiado, the other one is in West Pokot. And the one is 59 years, the other one is 56. Most of them are diabetic, high blood pressure. You don't even know what they are going to eat, and they don't even know how to cook. And you are separating them at the age of 50. Surely that is very unfair. Yeah? And I don't want to go in that direction. I'm simply saying, if those were MPs, they would have been asked questions in parliament, what they are up to, when they are coming with that. Vijana kama nyinyi munaweza pelekwa anywhere in the republic. But as you approach 40, you start moving towards where you got married to. Is that